We've got the Bantamweight title on the line. Teshay Gouthro and Daniel Hague. Teshay Gouthro going to bring him out.
Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. Flow Combat. The hardware continues. Our next championship fight is brought to you by Legacy Remodeling, and it is in the Pinnacle Fighting Championships Amateur Bantamweight Division for the title. Let's bring him out. Please welcome to the cage, Teshay Gouthro.
Teshay Gouthro coming in from Ontario, Canada, Niagara, represents Muay Thai Niagara. Actually the head coach there at Muay Thai, head MMA coach there at Muay Thai Niagara. Really interesting guy in that ranked number 5 amateur bantamweight in New York, number 7 in the Northeast, but got in MMA as a kickboxing background, 2-time national kickboxing champion up in Canada, and a guy who has a really extensive striking background, but also has a jiu-jitsu blue belt, so really, really well-rounded. And you'll see veteran fighter Matt DiMarcantonio in his corner tonight here at Pinnacle.
Yes, very well-rounded. Comes into the night in the title fight. 5 wins, 1 loss. His only loss coming to the brother of the main event fight tonight, Chaka Worthy.
And Gouthro, no stranger to title fights. His last couple of fights up in New York have been for title fights in both first-round finishes, a submission and then a TKO win. So he has been impressive throughout 2017 and 2018. Already has a fight this year, had a fight in February where he defended his title up in New York. And looking to come in here and play spoiler and pick up another title, another amateur title here in Pittsburgh.
All 5 of his wins have been by stoppages. The only time he's gone the distance is his lone loss.
And yes, you mentioned that loss to Chaka Worthy, and Chaka, a guy who is on the cusp of making his pro debut as well. So hopefully we'll see Chaka inside the Pinnacle cage sooner rather than later. I know he's been chomping at the bit to try to get in there and have a pro fight, but Teshay Gouthro is another guy who took that loss against a really tough opponent in Chaka and came back in a couple of impressive wins.
It's going to see. It's going to be interesting to see how quick of a turnaround since his last fight. First week of February. Now we're towards the end of March. About 6 weeks off. Was he able to get a full fight camp in for this fight?
Good question.
Now, of course, he is the head coach, so he's always preparing his fighters. So I'm sure he's always in fighting shape, regardless if it's a 6-week fight camp or short notice fight. And I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem for him.
I know he has the benefit of being a full-time fighter and trainer. Does not have a quote-unquote real job. But Teshay Gouthro in the cage. Teshay Gouthro going to bring out his opponent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is his opponent. Please welcome Daniel Hague.
Daniel Hague, just 20 years old. You see the tail of the tape there. I believe he's had a birthday since we did our tail of the tape, but 20 years old. And it's a 23-year-old Teshay Gouthro. Both 5'4" and both even 5-1 record.
He's coming into the night with riding a 3-fight winning streak dating back to March of last year. Last 2 fights were decisions. You know he's got the gas to go all 3 rounds if it does go that far.
Interesting, yeah. Also has a wrestling background, trains at Superfly MMA, but also cross-trains at Uniontown Fight Club, and you see Isaac Greeley and also Rich Catalina, the new boxing coach up at Uniontown Fight Club, going to be in the corner here of Daniel Hague. And I know Daniel's been training with a lot of those guys up at, not Uniontown, Mat Factory, but seeing, I know he trains a lot in a lot of the gyms here in Western PA, so getting to train with some of the top fighters here in this area.
It helps. It helps out tremendously.
Getting to fight here first for the Pinnacle FC Bantamweight title. Ranked there as the number 5 Bantamweight in Ohio, number 23 in the Midwest. Actually went 4-1 last year in 2017. Was a finalist, a semifinalist for our Amateur Fighter of the Year nominations. He was actually one of the last cuts, one of the last guys we cut before we had the official finalists in the voting. So had an impressive year.
Absolutely.
Teshay Gouthro is going to have the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is brought to you by Legacy Remodeling, Pittsburgh's premier remodeler since 1987. 3 rounds. for the Pinnacle Fighting Championships Amateur Bantamweight Championship title. And now, introducing on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, his record 5 wins with only 1 defeat, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing 135 pounds, representing Muay Thai Niagara, fighting out of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, introducing Teshay "My House" Gouthro. And now his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. His record sits as well. 5 victories, only 1 defeat. He's also 5 feet 4 inches tall. He weighed in at 136 pounds, representing Superfly MMA, fighting out of Bloomingdale, Ohio, presenting Daniel Hague. Your referee is Chip Snyder.
Bantamweight title on the line here. Pinnacle FC 16, Teshay Gouthro in the white, Daniel Hague in the red and white. Chip Snyder is the referee. No glove touch there from Daniel Hague. One of the things that I've seen in his progression as a fighter is really just an improved striking game, and that's going to see how it's on display against a really experienced striker like Teshay Gouthro. See what the boxing of Rich Canalina has helped. Nice left there from Gouthro, just misses. One of the things that I want to see if he's fixed is he has a tendency to back straight up, does Daniel Hague. But again, always has that wrestling in his back pocket. Nice jab there. Throws the kick that Gouthro catches and gets the takedown. Interesting taking down the wrestler.
Interesting from Teshay there to get right back up to his feet and not keep it on the ground.
Nice left hook there lands from Hague. Now he's looking here to try to get the takedown here up against the cage. And for Gouthro, this has been kind of his Achilles heel, has been able to stay on his feet against guys who really want to try to get him to the ground.
Gouthro's doing a good job at keeping Hague from taking him down.
And he's been, Gouthro, not to say that he, doesn't have the grappling as well. He does have a jiu-jitsu blue belt and 2 wins via submission. But I think at the end of the day, he probably would prefer to strike, especially against a wrestler like Daniel Hague. Hague now falls up against the cage, and a little bit of a scramble there. Gouthro with his hands down and just moves his head back to the center of the cage here. Nice leg kick there from Gouthro. Overhand right there from Daniel Hague lands. He does have a big, heavy right hand that he loves to throw. Stiff left there.
Good movement there from Hague.
And you see nice head movement from both of these guys. Gouthro with a nice kick there, and Hague trying to counter. Gouthro will switch back and forth from orthodox to southpaw almost at will, trying to keep his opponent off center and at bay. Trying to be unorthodox. Nice stiff left jab there from Hague. Gouthro follows up with a big flurry there. Spinning back fist that misses. Right hand there from Daniel Hague. 10 seconds left to go here in round number 1. Superman punch there from Gouthro lands.
Good way for Gouthro to end the first round there.
Yeah, I think that might have actually stole that round for him. That was a pretty close round, but
it'll be hard round to judge depending on how the judges see the fight. Hague did have the better of the striking, but Gouthro was able to have some wild flurries thrown in the mix there throughout the round.
Close round there for these two bantamweights. Two, as you can see, very experienced guys. They want to mention this fight is brought to you by Legacy Remodeling. I think this was a fight, as I mentioned when I did a preview, this is one of those that kind of flew under the radar a little bit. With four title fights on this card, it's hard to for every single fight to stand out. As you take a look here at the replay, that's the Superman punch right towards the end of the round. That landed for Teshay Gouthro.
I think the game plan for Hague coming into the second round here is to kind of do what he did the first round, keep the distance, utilize that jab as much as he was, and then follow it up with some combinations.
Gouthro really likes to throw that looping right hand. Hasn't really landed it just yet, but he uses it mostly as a hook. And he'll pop that jab too. There's a stiff left from Daniel Hague that lands nice. He's really doing a good job of being first with that left. And now Gouthro, interestingly, looking for the takedown, but Hague briefly had control of his neck. Has that whizzer on the left arm here of Teshay Gouthro. Again, that's going to help him stay on his feet.
Hague able to break free.
Back to the center of the cage. This is where both of these guys, it seems like, would prefer to have this fight. Hague's striking, man, just seems to continue to improve fight after fight, and I think that that's partially the benefit of Rich Canalina. Got a veteran boxer in your corner. That's definitely going to help, especially when you have that wrestling in your back pocket. Gouthro now again with the hands down. Lands a right hand there. Hague now looking for a takedown. Didn't really set that one up though. You see the nice sprawl takedown defense here from Gouthro. Has that underhook there on the left side of Daniel Hague. And that's what's keeping him up here. He needs to turn that. You see Hague now trying to suck the hips in and gets the single leg. Gouthro now trying to get back to his feet, but might give up his back here. And that's not what he wanted to do. 40 seconds left here in round number 2. Daniel Hague right in his corner. Gouthro now the aggressor here up against the cage. Last minute of the second round. He's throwing punches off his back up against the cage. Oh, he got clipped there with the right hand, did Hague. Hague telling him, come on.
10 seconds left in the round here.
Left jab there from Gouthro lands. And a leg kick.
That's the second time now that Gouthro's ended the round in the favorable position.
Yeah, and
I think that might be enough to steal the judges' the scorecards there.
Yeah, a lot of times, the last 20 to 30 seconds is what's the freshest in their mind. And Gouthro also landed a couple of stiff shots there in that second round, and that was a much closer round. Both of these rounds have actually been pretty close.
They have. I'd hate to be a judge so far in this fight. If I was either fighter, I would have to know that going into the third round, I have to finish this fight if I want to take it home.
There you see the left hand that landed from Gouthro, and another one. Here he is up against the cage and just throwing shots off with his back up against the cage. He has fantastic head movement, so he can drop his hands and not necessarily get hit with those punches. Matt DiMarcantonio in the corner there of Teshay Gouthro, giving him instruction, probably telling him that he needs to pick it up a little bit here if we want to make sure we go home with this belt.
Neither fighter has been successful with the takedowns. If I was either one of them, I would have to keep this fight standing. I don't want a chance, expending the energy and not going anywhere.
Well, Hague in that second round did get that nice takedown, and now here's the aggression here from Gouthro to start out the third round. Trying to back Hague up against the cage here. Nice flurry there from Gouthro. Now they're back to the center. Both of these guys doing a good job cutting angles. Now Daniel Hague, the aggressor. Hague kind of swinging wildly here. Gouthro now looking for the takedown here up against the cage, looking to try to pick that ankle. And looks like he might be able to finish that takedown. Nice takedown there from Teshay Gouthro.
Let's see if he's able to finish it up with anything.
Hague trying to wall walk and get back to his feet. Wonder if you're Teshay Gouthro's corner, if they told him, hey, you know, you want to try to put this round in your back pocket because this is a close fight. Might be 1 round apiece. Hague now trying to get back to his feet. Gouthro again sucking out those hips, grabbing that leg, and they're back to the center. Nice level change there from Gouthro, but Hague does a good job staying on top, landing on top there. 1.5 minutes left to go here in round number 3. Back to their feet. Nice leg kick there from Gouthro. That's
You can tell there's a
one of
hurting.
the best kicks of the fight. Another one, you see the leg start to buckle there.
If I was Gouthro, I'd follow that up again, and this time followed up with some strikes.
Yeah, Hague now trying to change levels. Looking for that takedown and unable to set it up. Nice knee there and a left hand from Gouthro. He's starting to take control of this fight here at this point. Another leg kick there from Gouthro. He says, my house.
Doing a little showboat here at the end.
Superman punch here. 50 seconds left, and you see some blood starting to stream. I believe that's from Hague. Gouthro, though, has got to stop showboating. He's still got 40 seconds left in this fight. I don't think it's in the bag yet.
No, it can definitely go either way still.
Hague now looking for the takedown here up against the cage right in front of our broadcast position. Needs to get those hips lower than the hips of Gouthro.
For 20 seconds, he needs to abandon the takedown.
Yeah, Gouthro has control, now has that underhook. Looking to try to dig the other underhook. See if we can see another flurry here at the end of this fight. This time maybe from Daniel Hague. 10 seconds left, and he gets the takedown. Wow. We saw Gouthro with the big finish at the end of the first 2 rounds, and Hague with a nice takedown at the end of the 3rd round, but Gouthro gets right back to his feet.
And then finish it off with a little flurry there at the end.
Close fight. That's a tough one to score.
It is a tough one. Unofficially in my books, I have a 29-28 for Gouthro.
Yeah, I think he definitely won that 3rd round. The first 2 rounds were both very close.
It's going to be interesting. Either way, great fight for both competitors.
Yeah, you can definitely see the experience of these 2 fighters here. Both had 6 amateur fights. Both had impressive records. As we take a look here at the replay, see some of this. I think Gouthro is really starting to find his range there in the 3rd round, especially with that leg kick. He landed a few leg kicks that buckled, and you see the nose bloodied there of Daniel Hague. And is that enough for Gouthro to come into Pennsylvania and pick up the Pinnacle Amateur Bantamweight title?
It might just be enough. I think both fighters respected each other's game and were very, at points of times throughout the fight, just kind of like circling each other, watching what the other one's going to do. They didn't want to make that first move because they know they can be set up with a counter punch and the fight can end.
Definitely 2 very well-rounded fighters. That's the type of fight that you want to see with a title on the line. 2 young guys in the sport. Still tallying up the judges' scorecards here.
What do you have it, Dave?
No, I think that I kind of agree with you. I think Gouthro may have just squeaked it out, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised either way. That's a very close fight.
You know, one of the things I like seeing after the fight, Teshay is raising his hands, being proactive, kind of showing the judges, you know, that he won it. Hague hasn't done much here, just walked around. Finally, we see his hands going up, but I wonder if he knows that it's a close fight and he's unsure.
Jazz Securo has the result here. We're going to get the official result and crown a new champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for these fighters in the cage tonight. After 3 rounds of fighting, we go to your judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision. Judges David Gation scores at 29-28 for Gouthro. Judge James Corley scores at 29-28 for Hague. And Judge Andrew Adkins scores at 30-27 for your winner by split decision, Teshay "My House" Gouthro.
Teshay Gouthro winning the split decision and getting the Pinnacle FC Bantamweight title here. He's going to get an opportunity here momentarily to talk with Dave Click, but first he gets the belt wrapped around him.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. These guys were amateur fighters. I could have swore they were professionals. Give it up for these guys. Teshay, middle of the fight, I heard you say, this is my house. This is my house. You improve your record, 6 wins, 1 defeat. You come down here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from where?
St. Catharines, Ontario.
St. Catharines, Ontario.
My gym's in St. Catharines. I'm a Welland boy, though.
You came in here, you impressed the Pittsburgh fans, man. You imposed your will. Walk us through the fight.
I came out. I tried to land my hands nice and clean. He had a quicker job than I thought. I started timing it, find my range more. I knew he was going to be shooting for the takedown in the first round, so I just needed to stuff it. I know I'm a lot better. I'm better all around. I am the future of this sport. You will see me one day in the big leagues. My house, remember that.
His house, Teshay, great takedown defense in the first round. Very impressive. Who would you like to thank here tonight?
I'd like to thank my head coach, first of all, Matt DiMarcantonio.
Pinnacle veteran.
Pinnacle veteran. Thank you to Pennsylvania for having me here. Pittsburgh, thank you guys. I'd like to thank all my guys back at Muay Thai Niagara. I'd like to thank Parabellum in Oakville, Roy, Linden, Prickett, Chris Prickett, he's always here. This is actually my 3rd title fight in 5 months. First 2 first round finishes. This one I wanted it, but tough kid, man, he came out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new Pinnacle Fighting Championships Bantamweight champion, Teshay "My House" Gouthro.
Teshay Gouthro.
The best fighters fight for Pinnacle.
Winning the Pinnacle FC Bantamweight title. Taking that back to Canada.